Live and local, it's time for Fan Sports Sunday. If the weekend is a big desert for sports talk, think of this show as an oasis.
Yes, here we go.
Come drink from our pool of hot takes as you quench your thirst with. I thought I was going somewhere, but I'm not. So let's just start the show.
Sunday at the Memorial. It does not get much better than this. The weather's shaping up. It's turned out to be a good day, and we've got a good show for you. We're going to, of course, talk about some Memorial Tournament golf, NBA, Stanley Cup playoffs on the horizon as well. Some NFL OTA conversation, a little bit of controversy up there in Cleveland. We'll also talk Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. So excited for it. I'm Dylan Tyre. With me is Devere Posey. We've got Dylan Gonzalez back at the studio as well. And Devere, you and I were just talking before we hopped on the air here. We're a couple of big golf guys, so this is a fun day for us, right?
Absolutely, man. This is a huge day. You got to Adam King, our guy, the one and only, the most beautiful man in Central Ohio, right there on TV. Came to say hello. How you doing, Nicole? Also, one of the most beautiful people in Central Ohio. I love working with them. We get a lot of work done in the fall. We'll see you around this time, man. So this is our first show together.
Yeah, you and I doing the Fan Sports Sunday for the very first time
on Sunday Memorial. We're gonna hopefully somebody hits a hole in one today, and we remember this forever. Right?
That would be amazing, wouldn't it?
That would be awesome.
Do you have a hole-in-one, by the way? I didn't ask you that before.
Yes, I do. I actually do. And it was at New Albany Country Club. I think it was on the west. It was a par 3. So the group of guys I was playing with was Will Allen and Mike Doss. And so those guys are pretty honorable dudes, right?
Yes.
We can call them. They'll vouch. It wasn't on video. Now the approach of the ball was on video.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have one?
I do not have a hole-in-one yet.
Okay.
That could potentially change.
It was not on purpose. Okay.
So you happened into it. It was a happy mistake.
It was a happy mistake. I caught a roll. It was like it was alive. So I got really lucky there.
So we're at a great golf course today, Muirfield Village Golf Club. Obviously, an extreme challenge. We saw these guys yesterday just get eaten up by this course. I think 10 guys shot under par yesterday in the field. Everybody else had a hard time. Scotty Scheffler is the leader. Guess who, right? Scotty Scheffler, slow and steady. It feels like every tournament has himself in contention, and here he is leading the Memorial, trying to go back-to-back this year. What are some of the challenges of playing this golf course? You've been out here before, right?
Absolutely. And so I get invited on the days that it's like raining for like a week. So I've been out here when it's wet. And what Scotty was saying sort of, as the show was coming in about how the rough is playing right now with these lies and when it's damp, this Kentucky bluegrass does not play. It will take a wrist. It will take a finger. You will have a jammed hand. So I think it's tough. So, I mean, for these guys just to move around. And obviously the weather's kind of been up and down this weekend too. But I think today is the best day. It's a bit windy, so I know that'll play into it. And guys will be really reading these putts and reading, these fairway shots for sure.
Do you have a favorite guy on the PGA Tour right now? Like somebody that you look at and you just marvel? I mean, I think Scotty's that guy for everybody, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like me personally, I am a Rory guy. Like I just like the stories of like falling in love with the game without like really much of an attachment to golf, because that's sort of my golf story. So like I like that with Rory. And then I like Tony Finau in the way that he brings his family everywhere. He's just a big family guy. Like if I were to be a golf guy, I would probably be like Tony, where like my kids would come to everything. And I don't know if you follow them on socials, but they give you a good life of like what's it like to have your family on the road. So I like Tony for that reason.
His son's a great golfer too.
Yeah,
I think he's kind of a rising star on kind of the junior tour. So maybe another Finau in the mix right there.
Absolutely.
Scotty Scheffler, this guy is absolutely unbelievable. 70 in the first round, 70 in the second round, 68 yesterday. Finished off with 4 birdies in the last 5 holes to get himself at the top of the leaderboard at 8 under par. And we've got a few guys out there on the course already today, but Scotty Scheffler has not yet teed off. That's going to be this afternoon, and of course Scotty is the favorite right now. He's minus 300, the odds for him to go back-to-back and win the Memorial Tournament. Have you been paying attention to some of these other guys that are at the top of the leaderboard? A guy like Ben Griffin, who's coming off a win last week. He struck the ball really well. Nick Taylor feels like he's always in the mix as well. Like, are you keyed into what's going on with these guys?
Yeah, these guys are peaking right now. And I mean, and obviously with Sham DeChambeau and Rory dropping for this. This is a great opportunity for them to play up, right, and be in the mix right now. So these guys are playing well, with the U.S. Open around the corner.
All right, talk to me about the U.S. Open, because I think everybody has been looking forward to that this summer. It's almost like if you're a golf guy, which you are, and you're on social media, I feel like the USGA is just putting out so much stuff about the U.S. Open. Everybody is excited to see Oakmont. What are your thoughts? You just talked about the rough here and the weather and how difficult it can be when it's windy. I mean, Oakmont looks like that's going to be a complete beast.
Well, in the hills, Muirfield is hilly,
yes.
But Oakmont, they get more monsters. They get Pennsylvania monsters. So it's one of those things, too, where – and I wanted to ask you this because I was thinking about this on my drive here. Because the U.S. Open is getting a lot of marketing. Is the pot bigger?
No, I mean it is what are they? What's the pot for the U.S. Open? Something like $20 million, like that. Let me see.
Yeah, because I just feel as though obviously you feel it with the Masters, but you really feel it with the U.S. Open in terms of the marketing they put out there. But I was just driving about that. I wanted to ask you.
Yeah, the purse last year was $21.5 million. The winner gets $4.3 million.
There it is.
So that's what we were looking at last year. And, of course, Bryson DeChambeau is the defending champion.
Yep.
I was actually there at Pinehurst last year and was able to follow he and Rory on that final day. So
that's awesome.
That's what we're looking at. And this week's event, by the way, this is a signature event on the PGA Tour. So you're looking at a $20 million purse for the Memorial Tournament, too. So this is a big-time event, and it's a challenging one that's getting these guys geared up for Oakmont.
Do you feel that in a season for a golfer, you're coming through Ohio and you're coming through PA, you're a down south golfer, you're used to playing on that's all grass, right? But you have to come and hit through this Kentucky bluegrass. And I really believe our grass is different. I don't know if you play much in Florida or California.
Yeah,
but
it is.
It is a lot different. So do you feel that these 2 weeks back-to-back really can exhaust you as you're coming down the stretch?
Oh my God, yeah. It is an interesting thing with the PGA Tour schedule, and they've changed it up a little bit over the last few years, right? Because we've got the U.S. Open coming up in 2 weeks. The RBC will be between this tournament and the U.S. Open.
Yep.
It is an extreme challenge, especially when the course is playing like it is this week with the weather. I think that wind that we saw yesterday, just think about that and how challenging it is where, I mean, look at the leaderboard right now. Maybe double digits under par is going to win this tournament. Scotty Scheffler's at 8 under. That could very well be the number. Who knows? I know some guys are going a little bit lower out there today, but say the final number here is going to be between 8 and 12, whatever it is. That's low, right? Like you're not looking at 20 under par, 25 under par. That's winning some of these tournaments and playing a course like this that is so challenging, leading into Oakmont, leading into the U.S. Open, which I mean, people are saying that a score over par might win the U.S. Open this year. So yeah, it is an extreme challenge. I don't think I would have any fun doing it.
Yeah,
and I have thought about that.
No, me and you would have fun
playing
these two back to back.
Yeah, we'd have fun. We'd have fun out there enjoying the courses, the golf, and what that would do to our bodies and our heads. I think the mental side of it. I'd probably be frustrated. But to answer your question, I have thought about that a lot in the fatigue that these guys are feeling these couple of weeks. It's tough, man. And remember, the PGA Championship wasn't even that long ago. That was just a couple of weeks ago, and Scotty Scheffler won there. And I think it's a testament to what this guy's been able to do. Just he's a model of consistency these last few seasons on the PGA Tour, and the fact that he's able to do it week to week. And you brought up Rory McIlroy not playing in the tournament this week, and that's to get himself ready for the U.S. Open, right? To get himself in that mindset, to get himself physically ready to do it, and he made that choice. I know some people aren't happy that he's not playing this week. They wanted to see him play in the Memorial Tournament, but that is what it is, right? Because it is such a challenge, and it's a physical task that these guys have to do, and I think you got to go back to the mental side of it as well. Just the absolute challenge to play this golf course, and then you're doing it at Oakmont as well. So, yeah. I think that is a valid point, in that it is very, very fatiguing. You know it better than anybody. You're a pro athlete.
Absolutely,
You've been on the grind.
I mean, and that's the best part about Scotty's consistency here. Like you were pointing out here these past couple of years is the physical fatigue, and he is a daunting figure. Not much like a Justin Thomas or Tiger, but he's a big guy, and I believe he's taking care of his body really well so far to date, and he has a young family, so he's able to kind of really get a lot of things out right now, and when I say a lot of things out, like you can schedule a lot of focusing to like aim in different parts of your game at this phase in life, and I think he's really executing. So I'm excited to see this run and how long you can keep it. I mean, Dylan, that's the thing with pro sports is what's the work-life balance and how long can you keep it? As I got older, I learned to appreciate LeBron and Tom Brady from a different standpoint, right? Just longevity and being vets. So Scotty's pretty young still. Love to see him keep this up, man. Big fan.
All right, you talked about Scotty Scheffler still being young. The Cleveland Browns have some young quarterbacks. NFL OTAs in full swing. We did get a look at the Browns' four-headed quarterback competition. Joe Flacco, of course, the veteran in that room. He had some interesting comments about mentoring those rookie quarterbacks, Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. We'll discuss that next. It's Fan Sports Sunday right here on The Fan.
Big voice guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye. Get Eco.
ECO.
Hey, Jerry.
Hey, Aaron. Hey, it's that time of year again.
What time is that?
The time all the air conditioners start breaking down.
Oh, that time. Yep, every year.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Like a swarm of bees. They all get together in a coordinated effort.
You mean the Queen air conditioner tells them all to break down?
Nah, they just get tuckered out in the heat, Aaron. Can we handle all the calls?
Sure, we have a swarm of highly trained coolness experts standing by.
Get Eco.
ECO.
And we have $3.5 million in new service trucks to get them there the day you call.
The same day? Well, what if you don't call until...
We'll come as late as you'll stay up to let us in. Same day.
That explains all the revving engines.
It's like a beehive of activity, Jerry.
Do you know I invented that weird Scoopy thing you serve honey with?
You should invent something for ketchup, Jerry. It's America.
Ooh, now that's an idea.
Get Eco.
ECO.
GetEco.com.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Window Nation. Beat the heat with Window Nation's semi-annual sale. Buy 4 windows and get 4 windows free, plus a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows, plus no money down, no interest, and no monthly payments until 2027. That's a whole lot of savings and a super smart investment when prices are going up. Their windows also come with a lifetime warranty, so you'll keep saving long into the future. Hurry, the sale ends soon. Don't wait to get your estimate. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
If you're trying to get through your daily activities and you're noticing you can't because you're focusing more on your pain than being able to enjoy the moment, those are the patients that we're looking to treat because we can make a difference.
That's Dr. Ashley Caravelli, a medical director for QC Kinetics.
What we're doing at QC Kinetics is offering treatments that help with joint preservation. We use cutting-edge technology in our in-house lab to harness your body's natural healing powers and target the areas where you need them the most.
These are regenerative, non-surgical treatments, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader, delivering lasting relief to tens of thousands of patients.
What we do know is that the sooner we start treatment, the sooner you'll see relief.
So don't wait another minute. See if you're a good candidate for these non-surgical treatments for joint pain. The consultation is completely free.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Common Man here. I want to talk to you about my buddy Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. It's rare that a business comes along and offers you such great quality, service, price. If you or someone you love or like, or even strangers on the street tell you they need a jeweler, tell them you got a guy, and that guy is Bob Capace at Worthington Jewelers.
I'm Bob Capace, and I'm your guy.
Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com, where Columbus gets engaged.
The Buckeyes are national champions. And you listen to it all right here on The Fan. And next year when they do it again, it'll be here on The Fan. And the year after that, well, you know the drill. Always and forever, your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months. months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Feeling stressed or overwhelmed? Not sure how to get the mental health help you need? We've got your back. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442. We'll help you figure out what mental health benefits may be in your health plan. No more confusion, just the support you deserve. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442.
Hi, I'm Mandy. I'm one of the at-home coaches with Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Honestly, I think the thing I hear the most is I didn't realize how easy it was. That first weekly they come in, they're like, oh my gosh, I already noticed that I'm not as bloated in my face or in my abdomen, or I've been sleeping better. I've been waking up with so much more energy. I don't need my coffee throughout the day. They're coming in a month or two later and they're like, hey, like my daughter said I need to lower my meds. I'm losing a ton of inches on my waist. I'm buying new pant sizes. And we're looking at the scale and we're like, yeah, your visceral fat's down again. That's fantastic. And we're celebrating all of these wins. And then we talk about, okay, next step. Let's talk about how to maintain it. This isn't over. This is just the next stage. That's what your health coach is there for.
Thanks, Mandy. This is Scotty Vegas. Easy weight loss with results that actually last. With Awaken 180 Weight Loss, you will succeed and you'll enjoy the process. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
I'm meteorologist Darren White with your 10 weather impact forecast here for the rest of our Sunday. We're looking at hazy skies and highs around 70 here for this afternoon. And then for tonight, mostly clear and cooling down into the upper 40s. By Monday, we're tracking more sunshine, still hazy as highs reach the upper 70s. And we're looking at highs well into the 80s here for Tuesday into Wednesday before we track storm chances by the end of the week. And that's your 10 weather impact forecast here on 97.1 The Fan.
T-Bone and Tyvis are everything you want in a delicious breakfast. Lots of empty calories, no nutritional value.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan. You're locked into a special edition of Fan Sports Sunday, live from the Memorial Tournament.
Presented by the Waterworks and Header Plumbing, Drain, Heating, and Cooling. And sponsored by Ohio for Responsible Gambling. Visit pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Coming at you from Muirfield Village Golf Club, I'm Dylan Tyre. With me is DeVere Posey. DeVere, it is a beautiful day for a golf tournament. Championship golf today, by the way. It is Sunday, and somebody is going to win. Scotty Scheffler is the leader right now at 8 under par. Who do you think comes away with it today? You think Scotty's going to get it done?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Scotty's going to get it done. He won last year. He's in tune with the roughs and the lies right now, and he knows today is the day that he can get under.
Today is the day.
Today, double-digit under.
You think he's going to do it at the U.S. Open, too?
Like we were talking about this fatigue. Now I'm talking myself out of it. If I was a bettor, I would be like, that would be the one thing that's getting, under my skin before I'm placing my bet. Like, I was talking about that fatigue. So it would get, I don't know. We'll see.
All right, a little bit of controversy up in Cleveland this week. Joe Flacco with some comments regarding mentoring the young quarterbacks in that room. It's not often that you've got two rookie quarterbacks on a team, but that's the situation with the Cleveland Browns right now. They drafted Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. They've got that four-headed quarterback competition. Joe Flacco is back in Cleveland. He wants to win the job. Of course, the rookies want to be in there. Kenny Pickett is part of that conversation as well. I want to talk about what Flacco had to say, but first, why don't we hear what he said to set things up?
Because it's a good question to bait somebody into answering, and no matter how they answer it, it kind of makes the guy that's answering it look bad. If I say I don't want to be a mentor, I look bad. If I say I do want to be a mentor, then I look like an idiot that doesn't care about being good and playing football. So it's one of those questions that no matter what I say, you guys can write what you want to write about it. And there's a lot of questions like that. That's why you end up having to try to avoid them. I tend to try to be honest, and I've said I'm not a mentor. I play football. And in a quarterback room, there's a lot of times there's been a ton of times where there's learning experiences, and I have a lot of experience, and I can talk on things, and hopefully they listen. But it's not necessarily like my job to make sure they listen to me. And hey, hopefully you have a really good relationship with the guys that are in the room, and you naturally want to do that, but that's Yeah, that was a long-winded answer, but that's ultimately why I think you guys ask it, you know.
Hey, listen, man, I love that answer. Well, because here's the thing. It's a little bit different perspective. 2018, I was in the Ravens locker room out there for OTAs and training camp early season. They draft Lamar Jackson. We were having breakfast. True story. Ozzie comes up, slaps on the shoulder. Hey, man, hey, nothing changes. You're still our guy. You're talking about Mr. Jackson just got drafted. Not, you know, at that time he was just Lamar Jackson, Heisman Trophy, but we're talking about MVP Lamar Jackson. So Joe understands that no matter what is going on and what this team needs, we need a quarterback. And like he said, I have a multitude of experience. There's been multiple times that if something comes up, I'm going to mention what I see. But I'm not going to get out here and say I'm these guys' mentor. I'm not like, you know, I'm not going to big homie these guys. Like, because at the end of the day, they're going to feel some type of disrespect. And then also I'm not going to, like, you know, acquiesce to these younger guys because I've won Super Bowls. And I mean, I think about Joe Flacco. Aaron Rodgers, and Matthew Stafford often. Their careers, like, are similar. But not to say the numbers are similar. Now, and I know this is our first show together. You don't know, like, I'm not an Aaron Rodgers guy.
Well, I'm a Chicago Bears fan, which we'll get into a little bit. So I am decidedly not either.
Okay, so we might agree on that. So I'm not an Aaron Rodgers guy. So I just think there's other guys with comparable careers. So for a guy like Joe Flacco who's won a Super Bowl, who can match up to an Aaron Rodgers, match up to a Matthew Stafford, why would I say I'm these guys' mentor? No, I want to win the starting job. I'm back in the league. Like, I'm here to cement my legacy. And that's the tough thing about professional sports that sometimes I don't think media understands. It's just, it's in your face. It's competition. You have to go to dinner and eat with a group of guys you're fighting for $1 million position for.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So here's the thing. I think it's pretty funny because he almost started out by saying, I know you guys are trying to bait me into saying something here, but he did kind of walk into saying something, right? And there's one part of this that I don't necessarily agree with, and it's maybe the sentiment that if he says he is a mentor to these guys, or he wants to be a mentor to these guys, that everybody thinks that he doesn't care about winning or being the starting quarterback. I disagree with that. I don't think that that's the case. I think you can be a mentor to these guys while also being the guy for this team, if that makes sense. And I think it goes along with what you're saying, and the way that you said it made sense to me, that, like, he doesn't want to big brother these guys. Like, he doesn't want to say, hey, I'm Joe Flacco. You guys need to come follow me. This is how it works, right? You guys are the rookies. I'm the veteran. You're going to follow me. I think he's just going to be there, and if they want help or if they want to ask a question or bounce ideas off of him,
I'll tell you what I see, guys. Yep.
Exactly. And I think that's the benefit of having a quarterback like that in the room for the Browns right now. And, of course, you've got Kenny Pickett, who has experiences of his own. He hasn't been nearly as successful in the NFL as Joe Flacco, but he's another guy that can help these guys along. It's a unique scenario because you do have all of these different guys fighting for a job, and you have not one but two rookie quarterbacks fighting for a job. Have you ever seen anything like this? I mean, even at the collegiate level, you know, you have freshmen, sophomores, guys in the same class battling. How does that kind of work in a situation like this?
So I have seen something like this, and what I saw was in 2012, the Washington Redskins had Rex Grossman already on staff, and then they drafted RG3, Heisman Trophy winner, in the first round, and they took Kirk Cousins, who's still playing, in the fourth, but also had Jonathan Compton on their roster. So the Browns situation, to me, kind of mimics that, right? And so when I'm looking at quarterback decisions, I'm always looking at them in the rule of two, right? Like, you've probably bought a house, so you understand the rule of two. When you go and get your house, they're going to look at your last 2-year tax returns. So for NFL organizations, same rule, Dylan. So every president gets 2 GMs, every GM gets 2 head coaches, every head coach gets 2 quarterbacks, whether it's drafted or in the free agency pool, right? And so what you're evaluated on is the success of those 2 decisions that you make. And so if you look at what Washington did in that same year, they doubled down on a quarterback in a draft, and they had one already. So it's like that locked in Shanahan's future, which allowed him to develop 2 young guys and move forward that way. So you look at what the Falcons did. They had Kurt on staff last year, and then they brought in Penix. You kind of double down on that rule of two. You get it in 1 year, right? So this situation in Cleveland, I'm monitoring it from that level of, hey, you got two. There's a lot of battles going on. There's one to say who's the best rookie and who'll be here.
Yeah.
Kenny Pickett is a reemergent vet. Obviously, Joe is that guy that if you look at it outside looking in, you're saying, hey, oh, he's the guy that's going to prepare these guys. And Joe's like, if I assume that role, that's my job. I'm clipboard, coach on the field. And so he's like, I don't want to walk into this. Like, I want to play. I want an opportunity to start. And so, man, and that's tough, man, because I was that guy, Dylan. Like, I remember one training camp, I walked in the locker room and I was OG. And I was like, this is disrespectful. Like, and I mean, I'm not like, I was like, all right, y'all, like, I'm 30.
Yeah.
31. And so you try to fight Father Time.
Okay.
In the film room saying, hey, yeah, I know a lot of things, but I don't want to become coach too.
Yeah. No, I know what
it's
you're
tough. It's so tough. It's tough. But, yeah, I have seen something like this, long drawn-out answer for it's a weird situation when you have a vet in the room, you got two young guys, then you throw in that rule of two with quarterbacks. This Brown situation, I just feel like sometimes it's a seventh grader running the team.
Yeah.
It's just a seventh grader. Like, oh, I like that guy, I like that guy, I like that guy. Yeah, give me all of them. And so it's tough to digest.
All right, speaking of controversial quotes from quarterbacks, Caleb Williams earlier this week addressed rumors that he did not want to be a Chicago Bear. That's next. It's Fan Sports Sunday right here on The Fan.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Spring weather has arrived, and we all know what that brings. Warmer weather and severe storms. Well, when bad weather hits, we all know it can cause leaky roofs or even damage to your siding and gutters. The Roofing Guys are your local experts in roofing, siding, and gutters and more, providing top quality through every roof, every time. So it's just a small repair, full replacement, or even peace of mind. You need to contact my guys, the Roofing Guys, 614-626-7000, or visit them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
Must be the love, yeah, must be the love.
There's so much to love in Ohio because the heart-shaped state is the heart of adventure with 76 free state parks, amusement parks, ballparks, and more. The heart of opportunity with great jobs and a low cost of living. Ohio is the heart of it all. Follow your heart at ohio.org.
Sponsored by Tourism Ohio and aired by this station.
It's been a great run. Care Heating and Cooling has achieved goals I could only imagine 30 years ago. But now it's time for the next generation to take over. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, as Care grew over the years, you had many opportunities to sell Care to one of the big conglomerates that are buying companies all over Central Ohio. So tell our customers why you decided to keep Care in the family.
After talking about Care's values for over 30 years, I couldn't bear the thought of Care becoming the kind of company I was warning our customers about. I know the two of you will continue to treat our customers as I would, with honesty and integrity.
We will, Dad. In 2024, Care was awarded a BBB Torch Award for Ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
97.1 The Fan Memorial Leaderboard Update.
And this leaderboard update is sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Rates as low as 5.54% and a $400 cash bonus when you refinance your auto loan with BMI Federal Credit Union. The final round of the Memorial Tournament is underway at Muirfield Village. Over half the golfers left in the field are out on the course trying to make a move up the leaderboard, and we're starting to see some low scores. Ludwig Oberg and Brant Snedeker have 2 low rounds going, both working on 5 under rounds. Oberg is through 13 holes, while Snedeker has 5 birdies in his first 7 holes. Scotty Scheffler is your leader at 8 under par and looking to defend his title today. With a win, Scotty would join Tiger Woods as the only players to successfully defend their title at the Memorial Tournament. He tees off this afternoon at 2:05 with first-round leader Ben Griffin. I'm Jacob Reimer with your live Memorial Tournament updates here on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Bo Bishop is a media legend. We have no idea where the other guys came from. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan. 30 hours of live Memorial coverage? Yes, please. You're listening to Fan Sports Sunday, live at the Memorial Tournament.
Presented by the Waterworks and Header Plumbing, Drain, Heating, and Cooling. And sponsored by Ohio for Responsible Gambling. Visit pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Devere, you never know who you're going to see out here at the Memorial Tournament. Dave Metzold of Columbus Blue Jackets fame just walked by. He's the rinkside reporter for the hometown team. Yep, he gave us a wave there, but you never know who you're going to see out here at Muirfield Village.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I just saw Adam King 2 segments ago. You saw your guy, Mr. Metzel. This is a great spot, though, in terms of seeing everybody come in. You're seeing the excitement, and then when you see me leaving, I'm limping because my Achilles is tight from these hills.
Yeah,
So you see people coming and going.
You're out there. I was out here yesterday. I did 13,000 steps out here yesterday, which I feel like isn't even anything. Like, I feel like you could easily put in like 20, 30K out here.
For sure.
I posted up for a little bit yesterday. I wasn't following everybody. But
you're a veteran.
Yeah. I've been out here before. You know how it goes. Well, Caleb Williams is not a veteran.
Yep.
And he's been in the news lately because of Seth Wickersham. He's writing a book. His book has come out, and I think in part of maybe the promotion for his book, some quotes were released. And the quotes that came out were essentially Caleb Williams and his father going into the draft process last year, before he was the number 1 overall pick by the Chicago Bears. They had their concerns, which I think are very valid given the history of quarterback play in Chicago. The Bears have never had a 4,000-yard passer, which is very hard to believe.
Yep.
I think Caleb Williams is probably going to change that this season. But they had their reservations about joining the Chicago Bears. In fact, he really wanted to be a Minnesota Viking, it sounded like. But I think Caleb Williams did a very important thing this week in that at Bears OTAs, he got ahead of it. He spoke with the media. Ben Johnson has talked about it a little bit, the new Chicago Bears head coach. But before Caleb was even asked a question about this, he stepped up to the podium and he said, guys, I want to talk about this. Let's air it out. Here's what he had to say.
Being able to have those thoughts is I think, fair to be able to have, good and bad thoughts. But like I said, I came here on a visit, and like I said, just like Ben said, it's a challenge to be able to come in here and try and turn around. And that was the main goal of all of that, is to through all of what was going on, through all of what happened in last year and previous years. I think that was enticing. I think that was something that was glaring to me, that I wanted to come here and be the guy and be a part and be a reason on why Chicago Bears turn this thing around.
So I love that from Caleb Williams in that I thought it was part of the quote that we didn't have right there was he was actually really forthcoming and honest about, hey, Kevin O'Connell, I met with Kevin O'Connell in the draft process, and I really liked what he was selling. Like, I liked the Vikings. That was a good situation, and obviously we saw what Kevin O'Connell did this past season with Sam Darnold, and we'll see what he does with J.J. McCarthy there in the future. But what I think is key is that Caleb said, I had those exact same feelings after meeting with Ryan Pace, after meeting at that point with Shane Waldron and Matt Eberflus of the Chicago Bears, the head coach and the offensive coordinator at that point. And he said he wanted to be the guy. Like, he expressed those concerns, which I think are valid. Quarterbacks, I think the quote was, Chicago is where quarterbacks go to die.
Yeah.
In
our Cleveland.
History says that, yeah, that's pretty accurate. I mean, look at the quarterbacks that have played in Chicago. Like, Jay Cutler is the most successful Chicago Bears quarterback in
Jason
recent
Campbell.
memory, and they didn't win a whole lot with Jay Cutler, right? They went to an NFC championship game but didn't make it past the Packers there. But I think it's enticing that Caleb said, I wanted to be the guy. After meeting with those guys, I wanted to be the guy that changes this for the Chicago Bears. And I think that's the most important thing right there, is that I think Caleb Williams is a little bit different, right? Like, of course, he had these concerns, and even though, his dad was saying this, he was thinking this, he had those thoughts, he said, I want to be the guy that changes the Chicago Bears. Of course, anybody is going to say that, but I tend to believe it when I hear Caleb Williams. Like, I think he's that guy who has that juice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that the right, first world issues. You're the number one pick, and you go on a team visit, and you like a team that's too far back in the first round, and it's not a reality that they're going to draft you, but also harsh reality for the first round pick. You are viewed as a guy that's going to change franchises, and Chicago is an opportunity for you to do that. If you are as revolutionary as a quarterback as you say you are, or present yourself to be, that's my only thing with Caleb too. Like, it's just sometimes I feel like when you ask to be put in that spotlight, you got to take everything that comes with it. And his comments were fair about thoughts of, hey, this might be a lot, but a part of rebuilding something and having a guy in a city like Chicago, great sports town, it's going to take time. You need to get a quarterback out of the gate, right? You got Caleb. You need to get the right coach in there. That's going to take some time for him and Ben Johnson to merge. But you see what Ben Johnson did with Jared Goff's career, and you understand what kind of mind he is there and as a football guru and the success they had in Detroit. You know, it's just interesting, man, right? We're going to see if Dan Campbell's disciples can go ahead and – unfortunately for Dan, he's going to make it tougher in his division, right? and hopefully Aaron Glenn can, turn Chicago around with our guy Justin Fields. So it's an interesting thing here at play with Chicago Bears, and I wanted to get your thoughts on just the sentiments from the city. You said your dad was a longtime Chicago Bear fan, and you guys are a Chicago sports family. So what is it about Chicago's football sports franchise that makes it very hard? Is it what's going on, man? Because I feel like I figured out Cleveland's problems.
All right, well, I'm interested to see your answer there, but I think a lot of it, when it comes to situations like this, a lot of it comes down to ownership, right? When you can't get it right over and over again. And I think there were reports out of Chicago this summer that things are changing if they hire a guy like Ben Johnson or they hire a guy like Mike Vrabel. And that would be because they've never paid the amount of money to a head coach that says, okay, this is the guy. Like, they've never gone out and gotten that head coach.
The top guy in that coach and search
exactly.
time period.
Like, they needed to pay Ben Johnson. And it shows that there's a culture shift in that, okay, we're sick of getting this wrong. We're going to try to get it right. So that was the thing with paying Ben Johnson. The thing with Mike Vrabel is that they've never really hired that guy that he's the guy in the room. Right? Like, when he speaks, everybody listens. I think there's been a little bit of discomfort with that with the Chicago Bears, that they would hire somebody that's bigger than the franchise. I mean, think about Mike Ditka, right? He's that type of head coach that is bigger than the franchise. They had never really had a head coach like that since Mike Ditka. If they had hired Vrabel, it's kind of that same thing where what he says goes in there.
So the Bears need like a personality kind of coach.
Yeah, it was one of those two things that if they do this, it's going to trigger some change in Chicago, and I think that's the direction they're going, right? Like, they had never really made that taken that full measure to say, okay, it was always kind of tiptoeing around the situation. Let's try and fix this. Maybe we'll hire this guy. But I think you saw last year in Ryan Pace, all these guys. But he is the guy now in Chicago, right, as the general manager, Ryan Poles. And he has a unique situation in Caleb Williams, right? Like, everything is set up for him. He made that trade a couple of years ago that gets DJ Moore, and it also gets the number 1 overall pick the next year. He drafts Caleb Williams with it, and then he has an opportunity after that to sign some guys. He has money that he can operate with, and we've seen the Bears do that the last couple of years in free agency, spend that money. Now they needed to get the head coach right. Like, they had not taken that full measure. People thought that Matt Eberflus should have been fired after they drafted Caleb Williams, start with a new head coach. And now it's worked out that last year went south for the Bears. I think the players really made a stand. Like, after you think about what happened in the Thanksgiving game where they didn't take the timeouts at the end of the game. Caleb Williams let them back. And I think Jalen Johnson, the top cornerback, got up in that room, and he kind of had it out with Eberflus.
So Chicago Bear faithful believes that the past quarterbacks like Justin Fields, obviously I'm speaking for Justin Fields because that's our guy.
Yeah, I like Justin Fields.
They felt like the cards were stacked against him, and did they feel like the city of Chicago feel like he had a fair shot, or did they feel like the success that wasn't achieved was Justin Fields' fault, or was it Eberflus?
No, it's that's the thing there, that it's never really been the player's fault, I think.
Okay, so
I don't think there is
guy.
that sentiment. And now that I think people liked Justin Fields there, but they had an opportunity to get a better quarterback in Caleb Williams, a generational style guy, right? That's what he was being billed as, and that's what they've drafted in Caleb Williams. And I think now everybody, they've put their faith into Caleb Williams. Mm-hmm. The situation was a little bit sticky when they drafted him, and now I think everything's pointing in the right direction for the Bears, which is important that he's come out and made these comments, and because that's just, it's more drama, right? When it comes out, oh, Caleb didn't want to be here. Does he really want to be here? He squashed that, and I think now they're going to try and move in the right direction.
Absolutely.
That brings it all full circle for us, right?
I love that.
All right, we're going to take another break right now. We've got some playoff talk coming up. I don't know how big of a hockey guy you are, but we're going to get into the Stanley Cup final. It's set. We are talking the rematch between the Oilers and the Panthers next. It's Fan Sports Sunday right here on The Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan. Get Eco.
ECO. Hey, Jerry. Hey, Aaron. Hey, it's that time of year again. What time is that? The time all the air conditioners start breaking down. Oh, that time. Yep. Every year.
Get Eco.
ECO. Like a swarm of bees. They all get together in a coordinated effort. You mean the Queen air conditioner tells them all to break down? Nah, they just get tuckered out in the heat, Aaron. Can we handle all the calls? Sure, we have a swarm of highly trained coolness experts standing by.
Get Eco.
ECO. And we have $3.5 million in new service trucks to get them there the day you call. The same day? Well, what if you don't call until... We'll come as late as you'll stay up to let us in. Same day. That explains all the revving engines. It's like a beehive of activity, Jerry. Do you know I invented that weird Scoopy thing you serve honey with? You should invent something for ketchup, Jerry. It's America. Ooh, now that's an idea.
Get Eco.
ECO. GetEco.com.
Huntington is banking that just clicks. Like asterisk-free checking. An account that's filled with features, but no monthly maintenance fee, no matter what. Because it's your money, right? So we think you should keep it. It's just one more way we're looking out for people every day. Is your bank looking out for you? Maybe it's time to switch. Visit your neighborhood Huntington branch or make the switch at huntington.com/yourmoney.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Don't settle for ordinary this summer when adventure awaits. Make memories that will last forever only at your Columbus Zoo and Aquarium, Central Ohio's family destination for fun. Plan your perfect summer trip at columbuszoo.org.
This summer, elevate your backyard barbecue game with Napoleon Grills from Billiards Plus in Dublin. Experience the power of Napoleon's infrared sizzle zone, reaching up to 1,800 degrees in just 30 seconds for that perfect steakhouse sear. Stay connected with the Napoleon Home app. Monitor up to 3 temperature probes, all from your smartphone. Built to last with premium steel, the grilling season never ends with Napoleon Grills from Billiards Plus. Visit Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin and transform your patio into a gourmet grilling paradise.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh, no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
When you're a AAA member, we do the hard stuff for you. So picture this. You're taking a road trip through the mountains at night, and you run out of gas. Do you, A, call AAA, or B, walk 29 miles to the nearest gas station in the pouring rain?
A?
How about this? You need auto insurance. You could A, pick AAA to find the best coverage for you, or B, spend so much time researching insurance jargon that you might as well have gotten a law degree.
Yeah, I'm going with A.
Right. Okay, you're booking a vacation. You can A, have AAA plan it for you, or B, stress so hard about layovers and getting to your cruise that you need a vacation from booking your vacation.
That's easy. A, AAA.
On the plus side, get more with AAA. Go to AAA.com/plus side.
This is This Date in Reds Baseball with team historian Greg Rhodes.
We've had our share of great Hall of Fame players here in Cincinnati over the years, and we've also seen the best of the other clubs as well. And one of the greatest visiting players was Sandy Koufax, the Dodgers ace of the 1960s. And on this date, June 1st, 1963, Koufax started against the Reds at Crosley Field and pitched one of his best games ever against Cincinnati, allowing just 3 hits. He struck out 10 and gave up just 1 run. But you know what? The Reds won that game. They beat the Hall of Famer on one of his best nights behind the shutout pitching of Joey Jay, a 4-hit shutout to beat the great Koufax. A memorable pitcher's duel this June 1st, 1963. This date in Reds baseball.
This Date in Reds Baseball is brought to you by the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, presented by Dinsmore. Celebrating greatness, preserving history, providing inspiration.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Federal Elite Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
You're listening to Fan Sports Sunday, live from the Memorial.
Presented by the Waterworks and Header Plumbing, Drain, Heating, and Cooling. And sponsored by Ohio for Responsible Gambling. Visit pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Dylan Tyre and DeVere Posey coming at you from Muirfield Village Golf Club. Scotty Scheffler is the leader after 3 rounds, 8 under par. He's teeing off at 2:05, so in just a little while here, just over an hour, he's going to be teeing off at Muirfield Village, trying to go back-to-back as the Memorial Tournament champion. Speaking of champions, DeVere, it's time to talk about the Stanley Cup Final. It is set Wednesday night in Edmonton. The Oilers play host to the Florida Panthers. It's a rematch of last year's final that went to the very, very end. The Panthers, of course, came out on top, winning the Stanley Cup. They've been to the final for 3 consecutive years, which is impressive in its own right. And, of course, back-to-back trips for Connor McDavid, the best player in the world, and the Edmonton Oilers. Are you much of a hockey guy? Tell me about it.
So here's my thing with hockey. I never played, obviously, but I always have had an appreciation for the skill set on skates. I've spent time in Canada. I've been to a Montreal Habs game. I am a sports fan, and I can consume some hockey.
All right, what'd you think about going to Bell Center and seeing the Montreal Canadiens play? I mean, that's the mecca of hockey right there. What was that like?
It was a great experience, man. Yeah. I mean, that place is electric. We had an awesome time. It gets really loud in there.
Yes, it does.
So, I mean, it was an awesome time. But this series, when you think about last year's series between Edmonton and the Panthers are up 3-0, right? And you go to a game to where Connor McDavid and these guys, they have an 8-1 game, and just the whole dynamic of the series changes, right? And then it bleeds into this year in terms of success. And so, that Game 4 has to be sticking in Edmonton's mind on, like, hey, did we let our momentum get away? Like, what happened in that game that allowed this team to come back into the series and force a Game 7? So now you got a fresh slate, fresh start, fresh year. You're really licking your chops for these Panthers, if I'm the Edmonton Oilers, obviously.
It's an exciting final because you've got the Panthers, who I think everybody thinks are going to win the Stanley Cup. Mm-hmm. I'm on the other side of the equation here, where I think the Oilers. I do think Edmonton is going to get it done this year, just because Connor McDavid, he's a dog, man. Mm-hmm. Like, he is a dog. He gets a look in his eye, and there's no stopping him. He is unlike anybody in the National Hockey League in that he can completely take over a game and make a play that completely flips the momentum of a hockey game. He's just that style of player that he's so fast, such a good skater, that he can make everybody on the other team look stupid. All 5 guys on the ice and then finish off beating the goalie. That he can make everybody look stupid and completely change a game like that. I just don't see Connor McDavid losing this year, but Florida has a better roster than Edmonton does. I'll give them that, and the Panthers have pretty much run over everybody in the playoffs on their way to their 3rd consecutive final. They are the defending Stanley Cup champions. They can beat you a million different ways. They've got a ton of skill. They're mean. They're going to grind on you, and I think that's the one thing. If you're the Edmonton Oilers, you've got to be prepared for the physicality, and you're missing a key guy when it comes to that in Zach Hyman. He was the playoff leader in hits, and he was hurt against the Dallas Stars in the Western Conference Final. He's out the rest of the season. He's not going to appear in the Stanley Cup Final. Hyman's a guy who's scored 40-plus goals in the National Hockey League before, but he was playing a little bit different of a role in the playoffs this year in that he was their physical presence. He was that guy that was just grinding on other teams for the Edmonton Oilers. That's the one area I have concern in this series.
Yep.
Will the Panthers be too physical for the Edmonton Oilers? What do you think?
Oh, man, I mean, the Panthers have been great all year, and you're right. And just getting it done, just seemingly just overwhelming teams.
Yes, that's what they did in the playoffs so far. They've literally just overwhelmed everybody.
Teams, just playing. and normally, man, I would say it would be a walk away, but if it was any other team that's not the Edmonton, Oilers, because they have some bad blood with these guys, and I'm telling you, that game, that 8-1 game of like all of this overwhelmingness that we're talking about, to be able to dominate somebody like that, it gave you confidence to go and win 2 more games. They have to channel that, and they have to channel that energy all series. If I'm turning on the film, that's what we're watching. That's what we're motivated by. Like, this is how we can beat this team. And so, if they can get to that level, obviously you're saying they're down guys, so they have a shot. So I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, the thing that I'm excited about is you look at all the different matchups in this series. I already told you that the Panthers they've got a better roster, I think, than the Edmonton Oilers do. They're one of the deepest teams in the NHL, if not the deepest. That includes in goal. They've got the better goaltender, a former Columbus Blue Jacket, Sergei Bobrovsky, 2-time Vezina Trophy winner, a guy that won the Stanley Cup for Florida last season. Yep. He's in net for the Panthers. On the other side, you've got some questions with Stuart Skinner and the Edmonton Oilers. Skinner's really been feast or famine in these playoffs. He's either shutting out the opponent or he's given up 6. He's going to have to be a little bit more steady in this series against the Florida Panthers if the Oilers want to have a chance. But the difference maker for me, it's like you've got that guy. The Panthers are good. They have star players. Barkov, Tkachuk, Marchand, all these guys, but they don't have Connor McDavid and they don't have Leon Draisaitl. I mean, these are 2 of probably the top 5 best players in the world, Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid. They play on the same team in the Edmonton Oilers. And the one thing I'll say about this is that the Oilers, the difference between their run this year and last year is that Draisaitl and McDavid last year had to do everything.
Yes.
This year, they're getting scoring from up and down their lineup. They're getting that depth scoring that's eased some of the pressure on both McDavid and Draisaitl. I think that sets them up nicely. The way that you talked about fatigue on the PGA Tour, that you have to be the guy every single week playing at these tough courses, back-to-back tournaments, all this stuff, is that these guys haven't had to necessarily be the guys for the entirety of the playoffs this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think they turn up in the final, and they are those guys that you say, all right, guys, we can take over now.
Do you think the distance between these 2 final cities plays into this at all?
100%. People talked about it last year. I think maybe the media complains about it a little bit more than the players because, of course, in the NHL, they're flying charter and everything, whereas the media, they're not doing that.
Does it hurt more on the East Coast, the team that's in the Eastern time zone?
I'm not sure if necessarily that matters. It's just the fact that you're going back and forth so far, so frequently for both of these teams. I get what you're saying, being on the East Coast like that, but I don't know. I think these guys are so used to it. They travel for 7 months, right?
For sure,
and I don't think the
for
time
sure,
zones matter that much. It's just the overwhelming difficulty of the travel itself. I mean, it literally couldn't be a further trip, right? You're going from Edmonton, which is, it's not the westernmost team in the NHL, but you factor in that you're going north into Canada, pretty far north into Canada and west, and then South Florida, right? Like you're going to the very southeastern tip of the United States.
Exactly.
So you're going pretty much northwestern tip to southeastern tip. It's a lot of travel. There's definitely fatigue when it comes to that. It's difficult for these guys, but
Absolutely.
The Stanley Cup playoffs are a little bit different, and these guys are built different. The Florida Panthers, the Oilers, definitely built different because they've been in the final back-to-back years. But, I mean, in your experience, right, like playing football, it's hard to beat a team twice in a season, right? Like to do it twice. Can the Florida Panthers do that in back-to-back Stanley Cup finals? I think it's got to be hard to beat the same team twice, right?
It's hard to beat a team twice, and in this series, it's hard to beat a team 3 times, right? I mean, because that's a little bit how the Canadian season is. You play everybody twice, and then there's one team throughout the year you play 3 times, but you'll play them again in the playoffs. So if you sweep a team, like going into it, you don't know if it's a jinx, but you're like, man, we already beat these guys twice. How are we going to do it a third time? And even in contrary, if you're the guy that got beat twice, that's been us one time. We won a championship like that up there. We got beat twice, pummeled twice in the season, but we got them in a championship. So it's very tough to beat people twice, but we'll see if the Panthers can do it.
All right, we will see what happens again Wednesday night. The Stanley Cup final starts. It's the Oilers taking on the Florida Panthers. And since we're talking playoffs, why don't we hop on over to the NBA? That is next. It's Fan Sports Sunday right here on The Fan.
During this 10-second promo, Rothman will lose money gambling on something.
People like you come here and blow the family nest egg that built this town.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan.
Hardscape Pros, are you tired of working with broken down tools and chasing paychecks? At 9 Trees, we respect your craft, invest in the best equipment, and back our crews with full benefits and top pay. We're not just offering you a job, we're offering you a career. If you're a seasoned pro, work with a top patio builder that treats you like family. Call 9 Trees at 614-921-9595 or visit 9treeslc.com to apply. 9 Trees Landscape Construction. The best reputation, the best compensation.
Hey, look, it's Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. Say hi, Bob.
Hi, Bob.
You know what I love the most about your store?
What's that, common man?
The way you treat people. You get to know your customers. That's why they keep coming back. No sleazeballs around. Just good, clean boys and girls selling jewelry.
Stop in and see the difference for yourself.
Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington. WorthingtonJewelers.com. It's where Columbus gets engaged. Tell them Common Man sent you.
Legend has it, underneath the NJM insurance offices lies a mysterious room of long-forgotten, moldy mascot memorabilia. Often pitched by ad agencies, always rejected by NJM. Is it real? We may never know. But what is real is NJM's dedication to doing what's right for their customers. Astoundingly, they're proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Learn more at njm.com.
Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
We can come the day you call us.
We're 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Brian, I've been meaning to ask you something.
Okay, ask away.
Sometimes when we're talking, I hear a little sparkling sound.
Is it when one of us says, all you have to do is point?
There it is. Did you hear that?
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic? Like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. It's that time of year where your cooling costs are going to go up because you're trying to cool off your house, but the air is escaping out of your inefficient windows. So get them replaced with Window Nation's efficient windows that'll help you save money on your heating and cooling bills. Buy 4 windows, get 4 windows free, plus a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows. No money down, no interest, no monthly payments until 2027, plus a lifetime warranty from Window Nation. 866-90-NATION to get your estimate today or windownation.com.
2 guys drove to work. Neither guy wore a seatbelt. One guy got a ticket. One guy didn't. The same 2 guys drove home. One guy wore a seatbelt. One guy didn't. One guy made it home. The guy not wearing his seatbelt didn't. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Dylan Gonzalez. The final round of the Memorial Tournament out at Murfield Village is underway. Scotty Scheffler is your leader after shooting 4 under 68 on Saturday. Here's Scheffler on the challenges of playing at Jack's Place.
The golf course is playing really long. It's very challenging. You know, when the rough gets this wet, I mean, anytime you hit in the rough, the lies are going to be really bad, and it's going to be really challenging. So it's definitely important to keep the ball in play and try and stay dry.
The Indiana Pacers were finally able to end their series with the New York Knicks with a 125-108 Game 6 victory. Sean Kelly had the call on ESPN Radio.
And for the first time since 2000, the Indiana Pacers are champions of the Eastern Conference and will head to the NBA Finals to play against the Thunder for the Larry O'Brien Trophy.
Breaking sports news right here on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
You're locked into a special edition of Fan Sports Sunday, live from the Memorial Tournament.
Presented by the Waterworks and Header Plumbing, Drain, Heating, and Cooling. And sponsored by Ohio for Responsible Gambling. Visit pausebeforeyouplay.org.
I like the way that Dylan phrased that a couple of moments ago. He said the Pacers were finally able to get past the New York Knicks. That was a good series. I liked those teams going back and forth.
Well, the Pacers eventually did get past the Knicks, and they beat them convincingly a few times after, the Reggie choke stuff, and a lot of people remember that. But, after that, Reggie, he doubled down on beating the Knicks. So, and that's the thing about Reggie Miller is people often thought he wasn't for real. And I think that's the same case with the 2025 version of Reggie Miller, which is Tyrese Halliburton. Yeah. He was voted the most overrated player this season. How about that, guys? A back-to-back Eastern Conference final appearance, now a finals appearance. And the way that him and Rick Carlisle and his team plays is really inspiring. They got a past champion with Pascal Siakam who snuck a championship in there when KD tore his Achilles. Don't tell me that Pascal's going to sneak another one in off of Achilles heel. He's literally the Achilles heel in the Eastern Conference if they win one. So super excited for this finals.
What'd you think about that series? I thought it was much more entertaining than in the West with OKC. I mean, I think OKC winning was kind of inevitable, right? Like everybody's seen OKC for the entirety of this playoffs, and they're a very deep team. They defend extremely well. SGA is the guy for them, right? But they also have those other pieces that can step up, whether it's a guy like Jalen Williams, Caruso coming off the bench hitting threes. I was excited to see this Knicks-Pacers series because I thought the teams were similar in some ways. I just thought the entertainment factor would be there, and I think it was for me, right? Like we had some absolutely insane basketball early on in the series. The game yesterday was tight, but the Pacers pull away in the third quarter. That's essentially the difference in the game. They finish off winning 125-108, and they win that series 4-2. What do you think about that series as a whole? Just watching those teams go back and forth. It looked like, the Pacers win a couple of games at MSG. Looks like they have an opportunity to sweep. Nope, the Knicks come back, and they upset the Pacers. It was a good one.
Yeah, I think the passing of the torch from, guys in my generation, I know you're a lot younger than I, but, the KDs, the LeBrons, and the Westbrooks, and the Currys, I think the NBA is in good hands, man. And just the Eastern Conference for the Celtics, when they lost to Golden State, and Golden State snuck that championship in late, their last one, that changed the way that team started to play basketball. The analytics changed, the way they approach the game changed. And I just believe that style of basketball that Steph Curry has implemented, threes and layups, right? That's what we're looking for. And we're playing fast and we're getting the ball up the court. That style exists in the Eastern Conference because Boston formed into that. So Indiana's play style matches that. So you get that, 20 teams, Western Conference ball play style in the Eastern Conference this year. To me, on the Western Conference, it's like SGA's game and this team's game, they remind me of an early 2000s NBA type of style where mid-range, one guy, ISO ball, but they also share the ball. Team chemistry is very, very high. It's not about a system. And I think that team, and they've been brewing for a few years, and for them and for SGA, just the kind of guy he is and how consistent and laid back he is. Like, I would love for them to win a championship because I know how tight knit that group is, and just for young guys to win, and it'll just be fun to watch them hold the trophy.
It is kind of refreshing, right? The way that they play basketball, because it is a bit of a throwback in that SGA is great from the mid-range.
Absolutely.
Of course, he makes a lot of free throws. I think some people call him a free throw merchant, and that's how he makes his points. But hey, baskets are baskets, points are points, right? Wins are wins. But they're great defensively. They're deep, and really, they've got one of the best situations in sports with all of the first-round picks that they've accumulated. Like, they've got a young roster. I've talked about their depth a million times already. It is cool. Like, I like what they have going on in OKC right now, but I also like what they've got going on in Indiana.
I do. It's sort of similar. I think so. From a championship ownership mindset, many fans don't get to look at it through this lens, but I want to take you down this lane.
All right, let's do it.
If I'm an owner, the best way to win a championship is with my core group being on rookie deals.
Yeah, that's the, I mean, think about the NFL too. Like, I've talked about that a little bit. I talked about it with Dane a few weeks ago, that the recipe now is like build up your team around a rookie quarterback on a rookie deal.
Absolutely. Because then now the gamble isn't as high. So New York's gamble is extremely high. If they didn't win. They're paying a lot of money. Boston, they got a championship out of those $200-300 million guys, right? That $600 million is paid off a little bit. So for OKC to say, hey, we got to trade. We snuck a fast one on the Paul George and got the potential of SGA. Now we can win a championship with these guys on a rookie deal. I'll take it. So I'm rooting for those guys this year.
All right, what do you think about the matchup here? Like, do the Pacers have a shot? Because I think everybody's really liked OKC throughout the playoffs, but for whatever reason, Indiana is still underrated, I feel like.
They do have a shot. Their pace of play, their size, and their length, not to say that they can match up with OKC, but because I think Chet Holmgren is a difference maker, right? Like, but Miles Turner had to guard Karl Anthony Towns out on the perimeter all last series. Chet Holmgren's a little different body type, obviously a little bit more slender, a little sharper corner, getting around edges than Cat is, but still, nonetheless, he had to guard Cat all series, and he was on a tear.
Yeah.
So I think they match up well with OKC. I think Benedict Mathurin has to play a lot more, right? He has that size that can kind of body up with Jalen Williams and SGA and those guys. He has to be out there. I don't think Nembhard should really play too much, because that is the thing about OKC. Their guards are big guards. So you got to have big guys that can play and match up to their body.
What do you think it says about the state of the NBA in that I think our producer Dylan might argue that Indiana does have a big three. But what do you think it says about the state of the NBA that, you look at these two teams right now that are going to face off in the final, and it's more so about teamwork, that chemistry that you talked about, the depth on these rosters. You think about the Pacers, they have all these different guys that contribute. Like, while they have their big dogs, their top dogs, Tyrese Halliburton doesn't always have to be the scorer. Sometimes he's the facilitator. You know what I'm saying here. Both of these teams have that depth, and it's not just one guy or two guys or even a big three that's getting it done. What do you think it says about the state of the NBA that maybe that style of basketball that you talked about early on is back in vogue?
Well, and that is what basketball truly was. That's what Dr. James Naismith designed the game to be, a team game. But I do think and I get in these arguments at the barbershop because I'm a LeBron guy, but Jordan stands and Kobe stands, and fans, they love the one person won the championship mindset. The single guy, the fifth, you got to be the best. You want to be the GOAT. Only the GOATs win championships. It's the single person that wins. It's very hard to sustain in today's NBA. It's very hard to sustain with the inflation of the NBA and how much money guys can get in other cities, right? Like, you couldn't maintain that Bulls roster or Lakers roster into the NBA. I'm going to go. Lamar Odom would have went and been a max guy, right? So it's just one of those things to where that these guys, Indiana, Rick Carlisle, and his system, and obviously what they're doing at OKC with 2 back-to-back years, right? They had the best record in the NBA last year. I mean, these guys are playing a team style of ball with one guy like with SGA who's sticking out. But outside of that, I do think team basketball is back.
All right. If you had to pick a team that's going to come out on top, who is your NBA champion after this series? What does your gut tell you?
I'm going to go OKC in 6.
OKC in 6.
Yep, I'll go OKC in 6.
SGA, Finals MVP, like somebody else stepping up? What do you think?
I like Jalen Williams to step up.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he'll have his moment because I don't think people really understand how good he really is.
I agree with you.
Like you might watch him, that guy's making shots. Oh, like I only know about SGA, but trust and believe, like they probably split those two up in practice and let them go at it because he is a really good player. It's similar to like how Jaylen Brown kind of often takes a backseat to Tatum, and he had his moment. I'm gonna go with Jalen Williams. What's the odds on that?
Oh man,
for NBA MVP.
I'm not sure. Let's see if I can find it really quick. Or producer Dylan, if he's got it back there, if he's got it for us. I'm not sure. I don't even know if we could find that right now, but I think that would be pretty juicy odds for you. Right?
yeah.
I see it at plus 2,000.
Let's go.
Plus 2,000. Jalen Williams, Finals MVP. Oh man, maybe you got to get that down. DeVere's going to be winning himself a little money.
We'll see.
What a prediction right there. All right, he's got the Oklahoma City Thunder 4-2. That's your prediction right there. I kind of like OKC too. I think I think it'll go 7. OKC in 7. How about that? We'll have a little bit of fun. 7 games, and it'll be a great final, just like the Stanley Cup final.
Let's go.
That's
that'll go 7.
Something else you guys need to wager, Dylan, if you really think that that's going to go 7 games, because OKC's like a minus 750 favorite to win the series.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
So 7 games would be a good bet.
7
right now.
Yeah, 7 games
absolutely.
would be a good bet right now. I like that. Well, man, we got playoffs on the mind right now, so why don't we just keep going? College football playoff talk, because there's a new playoff model that's gaining a little bit of steam right now. So we'll tell you what it is, talk more about it next. It's Fan Sports Sunday right here on The Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, where our erectile dysfunction treatments are shown to be effective in nearly 90% of cases. Listen to what Alex has to say about our ED treatments.
I have been experiencing problems with ED, but that's all changed. My name's Alex, and I've been a patient for Tri-State Men's Health for under a year. I highly recommend this. Every day I wake up feeling good compared to I was back in the old days. It change is more exciting. You know, I don't have a problem with ED anymore. I'm having a lot more fun. I was very comfortable. I was always comfortable in any conversation I had with Tri-State Men's Health. Yeah, I just want to let gentlemen out there know that you do not have to live with ED, that it is not just an aging process. It is also hormonal and balance and everything in your system. And once you get that under control and everything, you do go back to your youth a lot in how you feel.
Thanks, Alex. It's true. If you're like most men, we'll help you get your sex life back. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same Game Parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
This summer, elevate your backyard barbecue game with Napoleon Grills from Billiards Plus in Dublin. Experience the power of Napoleon's infrared sizzle zone, reaching up to 1,800 degrees in just 30 seconds for that perfect steakhouse sear. Stay connected with the Napoleon Home app. Monitor up to 3 temperature probes, all from your smartphone. Built to last with premium steel, the grilling season never ends with Napoleon Grills from Billiards Plus. Visit Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin and transform your patio into a gourmet grilling paradise.
We've discovered the perfect morning ritual, the 2 for $6 breakfast sandwich deal at Tim Hortons. Every sandwich is made to order with a freshly cracked egg and melty cheese, just the way breakfast should be. Choose between savory sausage or hickory smoked bacon, served on a toasted English muffin or flaky biscuit. There's no wrong way to mix and match this tasty deal. 2 breakfast sandwiches, just $6. Perfect. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants, single item at regular menu price. Modifications and tax extra. Exclusions and additional terms apply.
Tired of being undervalued? Join 9 Trees and get what you deserve. At 9 Trees, we don't just hire hardscapers. We build a team of skilled pros who take pride in their craft and get rewarded for it. Top pay that beats what you're making now, we guarantee it. Performance bonuses, modern equipment and the tools you need, medical benefits, and retirement accounts. You've got the skills, we've got the respect, and the paycheck to match. Make the move. Apply today at 9treeslc.com or call 614-921-9595.
T-Bone and Tyvus is sponsored by Prime Sports. Receive a 100% match when you deposit up to $400. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit online at primesportsbook.com.
Feeling stressed or overwhelmed? Not sure how to get the mental health help you need? We've got your back. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442. We'll help you figure out what mental health benefits may be in your health plan. No more confusion, just the support you deserve. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442.
The Roofing Guys are your locally owned, trusted family business right here in Central Ohio. They've been hammering quality and service through the roof for over 25 years, offering professional services in roofing, siding, gutters, and more. Contact them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
Discover uncompromising quality at a reliable price with Giant Eagle in Market District. Look for signs throughout the store highlighting lower prices. Surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle. Experience value like never before. Visit Giant Eagle today to see how easy it is to save.
Lexi spent more than 6 years in foster care.
Before I was adopted, I felt alone.
With help from the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption, Lexi now has a forever family and the foundation for a bright future.
Adoption changed me for the better. I feel like I can be whoever I want to be.
You can help find permanent homes for children still lingering in foster care. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
Fan weather
from the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
I'm meteorologist Darren White with your 10 weather impact forecast here for the rest of our Sunday. We're looking at hazy skies and highs around 70 here for this afternoon. And then for tonight, mostly clear and cooling down into the upper 40s. By Monday, we're tracking more sunshine, still hazy as highs reach the upper 70s. And we're looking at highs well into the 80s here for Tuesday into Wednesday before we track storm chances by the end of the week. And that's your 10 weather impact forecast here on 97.1 The Fan.
Common man, a radio veteran, has a large hemorrhoid. Timmy Hall, a good, clean boy, moonlights as man's hemorrhoid. Common Man and Timmy.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan. 30 hours of live Memorial coverage? Yes, please. You're listening to Fan Sports Sunday, live at the Memorial Tournament.
Presented by the Waterworks and Header Plumbing, Drain, Heating, and Cooling. And sponsored by Ohio for Responsible Gambling. Visit pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Dylan and DeVere with you live from Muirfield Village Golf Club. Scotty Scheffler is the leader in the Memorial Tournament. He's going off in just under an hour. 2:05 tee time for Scotty. He's the leader at 8 under par. Ben Griffin in the final group, 1 shot back at 7 under. Then you've got Nick Taylor at 5 under par, Sepp Straka and Keegan Bradley. Jordan Spieth in there as well. They're all tied for 4th at 3 under par. DeVere, we just heard Reimer came on over here, and he said he was just watching Davis Thompson. Davis Thompson made, a triple bogey at 16, put a shot into the water, then he went to the drop zone and thinned his shot from the drop zone over the green. You ever done anything like that? I'd be pretty upset.
I'll be honest, on 16, though, I parred that hole. I felt bad for that kid.
Humble brag. Okay, cool.
I feel bad for that guy.
All right, how many times have you played out here at
3 times.
All right.
3 times, yeah.
Do you remember what you shot in those 3 times? Not to put you on the spot or anything.
The one
like
time
that,
I played non-scramble, we played a real round. I shot a 104. But I had a caddy, and he kept the card, guys. I didn't have the card.
All right, so how do you feel about a 104 out here? Is that something like you wish
I'll
you
take
could?
it.
Okay, you
I
would
wish I
take
could be
it.
in the 90s.
Okay.
At that time, and with those club sets that I had, I thought I shot some good shots that day.
All right.
I shot some good shots
You're
that
going
day.
to play a little bit later today, right?
I'm gonna try and get out.
Yeah, you're gearing up.
Undisclosed location.
DeVere's a big golf guy. He's fired up for it. Let's talk a little college football playoff here, DeVere, because we've got a new model that's picked up a little bit of steam. We had been rocking with a potential 4-4-2-2-1, which would mean auto bids for the Big Ten and the SEC, 4 teams out of each conference. Then you'd get a couple of teams out of the Big 12 and the ACC, and then a conference champion, essentially, the highest-ranked conference champion. Now a new model is kind of gaining favor. I think the ACC, the Big 12 favor this. Some of the SEC coaches have come out and voiced their opinions that they like this too. They're calling it the 5+11 college football playoff model. It would be the top 5 conference champions and then 11 at-large teams. So I think a little bit fairer, I guess we will call it. What are your thoughts on this potential model change going forward? 16 teams potentially in 2026.
I think last year the system sort of you tested the system and the bandwidth of it. And I thought that it had holes immediately.
Okay, what didn't you like about it?
You would probably go with the route that Ohio State had to go and how it affected Oregon, how Boise State got positioned, and you look at all of those teams that got those first-round buys outside of one, they took a L. So I think that part of the system showed. Then also the things with Clemson and the ACC. Right, and did they really deserve to be in? I think obviously Dabo showed that they deserved to be in by winning that first round. But then SEC, you got the Alabama. They were really, saying, hey, we have a case to be in this. And imagine if the playoffs would have kneeled to Alabama last year, and Alabama went out there and got popped by Michigan. So the system got tested last year, and I believe it showed holes. We're going to have to throw a few things against the wall, right? Like Dylan, like – this is a new landscape, and I think last year kind of showed we should probably look at a different model.
Where are you with and Dylan, you can chime in on this too, because I'm curious what you think about it. We did talk about this about a week ago. We talked more about the 4-4-2-2-1. Where do you guys sit with going at large like this instead of the automatic bids? Because I think, obviously it benefits those conferences, right? The SEC and the Big Ten feel that they're the drivers of the college football playoff.
No,
they have the best teams. People tune in to watch those teams. This would be, a quote-unquote fairer way to do it, where you're going at large and you might have more teams from one conference. Heck, maybe the Big Ten and the SEC have down years and more teams from the Big 12 or the ACC are getting in. Maybe there are more group of 6 teams getting in. What do you guys think about this breakdown in that it's not as cemented, potentially, for some of the big-time college conferences?
Yeah, I think my question is the medium of evaluation.
Yes, that I'm very glad that you brought that up, because that's the issue right now.
Yep. With this 11 at-large team, what's the bar? Is it 10? We're not looking at any teams for these 11 spots that don't have 10 wins, right? Like, if us as a fan, can we see what this medium is for measurement on, competition with these 11 at-large bids? So if I can see that and I'm comfortable with it, I'm okay with these 11 teams check these 4 boxes that allow them to be at large. I would love to see that.
Well, that is part of the issue here, and that strength of schedule really isn't part of the conversation right now.
No, the BCS model is dead.
And I think it almost has to be part of the part of the equation. Dylan, what do you think about this, in that there's also being weighed, maybe the SEC goes to a 9-game conference schedule? I think if you go to the at-large like this, it has to be contingent upon the SEC going to a 9-game conference schedule, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'm kind of with DeVere, though, and I also think that people are going to complain no matter what. But what if we get, let's say the SEC does play 9 games, and then we're going to get to the point of who's better, a 1-loss ACC team or a 3-loss SEC team. And there's going to be people down there that are going to say the SEC team is better because they played their tough SEC schedule, as they say. So I think no matter what, you're not going to appease the masses. We're still going to have a fight over who those at-large teams are.
And where are you guys at in determining how to rank these teams? Like you said, I think there needs to be a distinct criteria, which I believe everybody is calling for right now. So do we go purely off of the eye test, kind of how we do now, or do we go back to some sort of algorithm, a computer model that spits out how these teams are ranked, and that's what we're going off? Like, where do we sit on this? Because I would almost favor going back to the BCS style, at least to get these teams ranked, and then you duke it out playoff style.
Yeah, man, I'm far off on the BCS style because I think it affects gameplay too much. Like I think
running it up, you mean?
Yeah. Like I think, and that leads into coaching decisions. It leads into fast break offenses, and like the BCS model, I think poses a lot more problem and change for college football, just because we're trying to maximize each game through point system. There has to just be a bar to where it's 10 teams. You have. If you have a team who has an automatic bid and they have a loss, or if you play them, I think it would be, I have no idea how this works, honestly. Because there's so many things that we're used to that have shown that need to change, right? The at-large bids last year, that has to change. BCS system, people are running up the score. These are inflated numbers, right? Like, these aren't really how good this team is. They just played a bad team, and they made it look really good, so their BCS numbers went up. So, Dylan, I'm okay with these 11 teams being picked by a committee if you tell me that this committee is picking from these attributes or these things. Just tell me what they're picking from.
Dylan Gonzalez, where are you at on this? Because there's a million different ways to think about it. What do you think on how to rank these teams to qualify them?
I like aspects of both of your guys' opinions. I wouldn't go back to the BCS, but I think there needs to be some computer aspect to it, because if you remember, everyone complained about the BCS because it wasn't humanized. And now we're sitting here arguing that there's bias with humans. Like, there's years that, Bama got in as a 4 seed and people didn't think so, or Ohio State got in as a 4 seed and people didn't think that they would get in, and they thought that the reason why those teams got in was because brand bias. Well, the computers eliminate that.
Yep, they do. They do. But here's the thing. You can also tell ChatGPT what you want it to. Just like, hey, I'm playing Norfolk State. We're going to score 70, and I'm the number 2 team. You might think I'm like, I'm feeding the computer numbers. You get what I mean? So that's the thing with the BCS system also, that's can play with stuff too, with you're telling a computer.
All right, guys, let's keep it in the college football world. Game times for Ohio State's first 3 games of the season announced earlier this week. Buckeye fans, we've talked about it a lot. None too pleased about the season opener against Texas. We'll tell you why in case you've been living under a rock. Next, it's Fan Sports Sunday on The Fan.
It's a different world today than it was 30 years ago when I started Care Heating and Cooling. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling, with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, 30 years ago, you were the first to warn of companies using service technicians as salespeople, of abusing the trust that a service technician has. With the big conglomerates now buying companies all over Central Ohio, this has become the normal business model.
It's all about greed. The conglomerates know they can make a lot more money by incentivizing their technicians to sell air conditioners instead of fixing them. They train their techs to take advantage of a customer when they are the most vulnerable.
Dad, that is not how we were taught. In 2024, Care Heating and Cooling was awarded a BBB Torch Award for ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Huntington is banking that just clicks. Like early pay, moving up payday so you could get your money faster, up to 2 days faster. And there's no cost. It's your money, right? So stop playing the waiting game. It's just one more way we're looking out for people every day. Is your bank looking out for you? Maybe it's time to switch. Visit your neighborhood Huntington branch or make the switch at huntington.com/yourmoney. Direct deposit and eligibility requirements apply.
When you shop at Meijer, you can always count on getting a good deal more with your shopping experience. And this week is no different. Earn a $10 coupon when you spend $100 or more in-store now through Saturday. Coupon will be printed at checkout. Then simply redeem your $10 coupon anytime the following week, June 8th through the 14th. Bringing more home for a good deal less. Welcome to the It Pays to Shop at Meijer Good Life. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
97.1 The Fan Memorial Leaderboard Update.
And this leaderboard update is sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Enjoy rates lower than the national average, plus a special rate on balance transfers with a Visa Platinum or Visa with Rewards credit card. The final round of the 50th Memorial Tournament is underway at Jack's Place. We are getting closer and closer to all the golfers getting out on the course, but we are starting to see some low scores from guys out there trying to climb the leaderboard. Ludwig Oberg has the low round on the course right now. He's finishing his round on the 18th now. Brant Snedeker is 4 under today, but finished the front nine with a score of 30. He's on the back nine now, just doubled the par 3 12th. Scotty Scheffler is your leader at 8 under par and looking to defend his title today. With a win, Scotty would join Tiger Woods as the only players to successfully defend their title at the Memorial Tournament. He tees off here at 2:05. I'm Jacob Reimer, and these have been your live Memorial Tournament updates here on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Bobby Carpenter demands that you watch Morning Juice on YouTube. If you don't, Tito will move into your house.
Live at 6 a.m. on YouTube and streaming on the Fan app.
You're listening to Fan Sports Sunday, live from the Memorial.
Presented by The Waterworks and Header Plumbing, Drain, Heating, and Cooling. And sponsored by Ohio for Responsible Gambling. Visit pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Scotty trying to go back-to-back. He is the leader, teeing off at 2:05, just over 30 minutes, 8 under par. DeVere already talked about it. He thinks Scotty's going to get it done today. He is a killer out there. He's a dog, and DeVere Posey, like Scotty, getting it done and going back-to-back. Speaking of going back-to-back, that's what Ohio State wants to do as national champions this season. And earlier this week, we got some game times announced. The Texas game to open the season will be a big noon kickoff on Fox against Grambling. That'll be 3:30 on September 6th, game on BTN. Then Peacock, the Buckeyes get a night game, 7 o'clock at the Shoe against Ohio University. I know everybody wants to talk about the noon kickoff to start the season. A lot of Buckeyes wanted that to be a night game against Texas. Where are you, DeVere, on this whole debate? I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not too upset about it. I'm not one of these guys that's calling for night games all the time. Yep. I did think it was a little bit ridiculous last season how often Ohio State was playing in that noon window, but I like this one. It's a big game to start the college football season. We get it noon on a Saturday in Columbus.
Yeah, well, I look at it personally from a media product perspective. I love some Joel Klatt. I love some Gus Johnson. I don't mind seeing Mark Ingram. You're going to have Herb on campus opening week of college football season for a banger of a 12 noon game. College noon kickoff brings a different type of energy than college game day to me.
Oh.
I look at, do I want to watch a college game day all the way, and wait for that to be the first game of the year? I'm fine with some Joel Klatt and Gus. Get me out the gate. Touchdown. World famous. Like, who doesn't want that game one? So I'm looking forward to that, but I obviously understand the festivities, wanting it to be a first game, at night. But we can catch Texas at high noon with Klatt on the call. I would love that.
Where does it stand for you from a player perspective? Like, when did you like to play games?
3:30.
3:30.
It's the best time slot because you get a morning routine, you wake up at 9 and then you're out of the bed. It's no going back to your hotel room, and then in some stadiums, some cities, some time zones, you get a day game for the first half, night game for the second half. So you get the best of both worlds at 3:30. It's the best time.
What do you think of it from a perspective of some of these new teams in the Big Ten, call it an Oregon or a USC, UCLA, Washington, that they're coming and playing at the Shoe, for example, for a big noon kickoff? It's 9 a.m. for them.
Yeah.
Have you done anything like that before? We were talking about time zones earlier in Canada when you played there.
We got to monitor that because last year it was only 2 teams that went out west from east and won. It was Penn State and the USC overtime game. And then I think Michigan went and got a Washington win. Besides that, everybody who went from east to west took a loss. So this year, interesting to see the West Coast teams come. I think they did fairly well. Oregon did well coming east last year, so it might factor into it. But for them, I think it's affecting our guys going out to that time zone and playing a little later, unfortunately.
That's an interesting perspective, and we were talking about that with the Stanley Cup playoffs earlier, and that's kind of what I was thinking too. In that maybe it's harder for the Florida Panthers to go out there and
we just figured that out, right? We'll stick with that hypothesis. It's harder for the East Coast teams to go west.
You've got that player perspective, and we appreciate it. You've also got the on-course perspective as well. You have played here at Muirfield Village Golf Club. I know it's almost time to wrap things up, so we're going to take a quick break and be back to look at the tournament scoreboard and talk a little bit more about the golf course. That's next. It's Fan Sports Sunday right here on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
That's are us. When dreams sunk in, that's are us. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH. That's are us. When dreams sunk in, that's our us.
I've had a number of surgeries, and frankly, I don't have time to rehab a surgery and an operation at this point in my life. I didn't want to take time off my kids' activities.
That's why former college and pro football player Bobby Carpenter turned to QC Kinetics. We couldn't be happier saving our patients like him from operating rooms and long recoveries.
They will resume like normal activity for me, which is a lot of running. It's a lot of workouts. I've been very, very blessed with how it's been able to hold up.
For so long, patients have accepted surgery as the only solution. But with new technologies, the medical professionals at QC Kinetics use regenerative treatments, your body's own biologics, to help heal and restore knees, hips, shoulders, and backs.
I actually ran into a friend of mine over at our golf course, and he had his knee done. It felt so well. He'd got his shoulder done. He goes, I can't thank you enough. He'd heard the commercial on the air, and so it's feeling great.
Find out how you can avoid surgery and finally get relief. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Two guys drove to work. Neither guy wore a seatbelt. One guy got a ticket. One guy didn't. The same two guys drove home. One guy wore his seatbelt. One guy didn't. One guy made it home. The guy not wearing his seatbelt didn't. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Open a money market account at Kemba Financial Credit Union and enjoy a 4.00% APY intro rate until April 2026, 6 times the national average. Maintain easy access to your funds and secure financial stability. Don't miss out. Offer expires July 31st, 2025. Visit Kemba.org. Restrictions apply. Advantage status and $5,000 minimum and $1 million maximum deposit required. APY equals annual percentage yield. Comparison based on FDIC average. Federally insured by NCUA.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
All your favorite and least favorite fan shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just type in 971 The Fan to the search bar and hit that subscribe button. It's free.
We're the land of the free and the home of the sunburnt, freckled fat guy.
Do it now.
Hi, I'm Mandy. I'm one of the at-home coaches with Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Honestly, I think the thing I hear the most is I didn't realize how easy it was. That first weekly they come in, they're like, oh my gosh, I already noticed that I'm not as bloated in my face or in my abdomen, or I've been sleeping better. I've been waking up with so much more energy. I don't need my coffee throughout the day. They're coming in a month or two later and they're like, hey, like my daughter said I need to lower my meds. I'm losing a ton of inches on my waist. I'm buying new pant sizes. And we're looking at the scale and we're like, yeah, your visceral fat's down again. That's fantastic. And we're celebrating all of these wins. And then we talk about, okay, next step. Let's talk about how to maintain it. This isn't over. This is just the next stage. That's what your health coach is there for.
Thanks, Mandy. This is Scotty Vegas. Easy weight loss with results that actually last. With Awaken 180 Weight Loss, you will succeed and you'll enjoy the process. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
As we wonder why our kids are struggling, someone is getting bullied. As we discuss how to improve their mental health, someone is being harassed on social media. As we wonder why they're skipping school, someone is crying themselves to sleep. Knowing the signs is the best way to prevent bullying.
Please just leave me alone.
Learn the signs at sandyhookpromise.org.
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting, just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move, a pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognized the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Federal Elite Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
You're locked into a special edition of Fan Sports Sunday, live from the Memorial Tournament.
Presented by The Waterworks and Header Plumbing, Drain, Heating, and Cooling. And sponsored by Ohio for Responsible Gambling. Visit pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Oh, I love being out here, DeVere. It is just shaping up to be an absolutely beautiful Sunday here at the Memorial Tournament. Mm-hmm. Scotty Scheffler is our leader right now at 8 under par. He's teeing off at 2:05, so in just over 20 minutes, the leader is going to be on the course. It's feeling like it. People just keep filing in here. You can see him coming in. Everybody's eager, and they want to see Scotty go back-to-back.
We just saw Sonny Styles leave.
Oh, did we?
Yeah. Well, he didn't see us. Well, I saw him. But it's all good. He's not hard to miss. He's a pretty big player.
Is he a golfer?
I don't know. I don't know if the Styles brothers are much into golf, but they are. They're Pickerington guys, so that they might be into some golf. You never know.
So you've played out here at Muirfield Village Golf Club 3 times, you said. Where does this golf course rank for you in terms of favorite places that you've played? Like, you ever played at anywhere that is really of this caliber, good course like this?
Oh, man. Muirfield is special because I think it embodies Ohio, right? Like, if you're thinking from a tour standpoint of these guys are in a bus and you get dropped here and you're like, all right, like, I'm Scotty. I just got off the tour bus. Where are we playing at? I'm going to drop a 70 no matter what. But if you come to the city of Dublin, how the city of Dublin works with this tournament and Muirfield Village and what they put on here, like me being an Ohio guy, it's very hard for me to pick, something over Ohio. So I do love what on the tour. I love Muirfield is my favorite, but my personal here in Ohio, if I can get on Double Eagle somehow, like I would love to play there. I've played there one time, so that place is special.
Double Eagle.
It's a tiki bar.
So I've heard.
You've heard about it?
So I have.
There it is.
I saw somebody yesterday. They were out here with a hat, and it just said Tiki on it. I said, I know where you got that.
Absolutely.
Double Eagle.
There it is. There it is.
So you have Scotty Scheffler winning this tournament. He is minus 300 as the favorite right now. Have you been paying much attention to what Ben Griffin has been doing?
Yeah, Ben is creeping right now.
Yeah, he's teeing off with Scotty, and he's one shot back. Ben Griffin is coming off a win last week. Why do you think Scotty gets it done here today?
Like you said, just defending that crown. There is some competitive nature to Scotty. He is a quiet assassin, and he does have a high standard for himself as a golfer. And for him to be able to come out here and win back-to-back, you know, I'm going to put that's where my money is going.
So he's trying to go back-to-back. He'd be the first person to do it since Tiger Woods.
Yep.
That's pretty darn impressive. I don't think we can talk about Scotty being on that tier yet. Like, he's not. Tiger Woods was dominant.
Yep.
But what we're seeing right now from Scotty Scheffler is pretty darn special. Like, it hasn't happened in golf in quite some time.
Absolutely. And I think just the repeated dominance hasn't happened in a while,
Yes.
and that's what we're feeling with Tiger. We're not saying Scotty is Tiger, but we're saying the repeated dominance is what we are fond of, and we do like to feel that from Scotty. So I'm excited to, hopefully see him win one today.
We've got the U.S. Open coming up at Oakmont in a couple of weeks' time. You've never played there, have you?
Never played Oakmont. No, I would love to, but I heard it's a beast.
All right, and you're a Rory guy, so are you hoping we see another major from Rory McIlroy? He goes Masters U.S. Open this year. Is that what you want to see from your guy?
That would be nice to see 2 majors in 1 year, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for that.
Do you have a pick for the U.S. Open?
Let's go with Rory. Let's be bold, right? Or I'll take DeChambeau too, because he took a week off, right? I like guys coming in there fresh, because this is a hectic back-to-back week, fatigue-wise.
Oh, man, right back where we started. Look at you. Look at you bringing this thing full circle. Well, if you didn't know, this is DeVere and my first time hosting a show together, so I hope you enjoyed it. DeVere, I had a great time with you. We got to wrap things up here in the last couple of moments because we've got to throw it over to Reds-Cubs coverage. But, hey, I hope that you and I get the opportunity to do it again, and maybe you and I can play Muirfield Village Golf Club together sometime.
We'll use your
connections. Great.
We'll use your connections, Dylan.
Oh,
absolutely.
I think you got better connections than I do, my friend.
Let's do it.
All right, DeVere's played out here 3 times before. He's got to get me on this golf course.
Let's do it.
Maybe I can get you connected with the right people to play Double Eagle. There's a Columbus Blue Jackets connection there, so maybe we can get that going for you.
I would love that.
All right, guys, we appreciate you joining us. Again, we are live from Muirfield Village Golf Club. It's the Memorial Tournament. Scotty Scheffler is the leader at 8 under par. He goes off at 205. Up next, the Cubs and the